Hello everybody, welcome back to Time Guide DBZ, and it is time for another reaction of Mortal Kombat.
Are you sure about that?
Okay, wow! It's a death battle, folks, I'm kidding! Whoa! That was way too close. Anyway, today we are reacting to, yes, a death battle. I know you guys have been waiting for one at some point. I highlighted this in a previous video, which I noticed the views are a little lacking on that. What are you doing, folks? Go watch my damn content! Shit! Today's death battle is going to be focusing on Killua versus Misaka. Hunter x Hunter versus a certain magical index. By the way, I figured this out recently, and a fan of the anime told me that it is pronounced Hunter x Hunter, not Hunter x Hunter. It's a perfect anime test question to your friends to figure out and see if they are true anime fans, and even your crush. Who knows, she might actually be in anime. And if she isn't, well then, congratulations, you just dodged a bullet. Today we're going to be figuring out who of these two are the best when it comes to their skills, and if they can actually compete in the battlefield that we are currently in with Death Battle. Now, as you guys always know on my channel, I am assessing three different things: the animation, the battle itself, and the outcome. You know, all three will be taken into factor with this, and we will figure out and see who comes out victorious. We'll get started into that shortly, but before we do, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and also to make sure to share this with your friends, family, and strangers, because remember, sharing is caring, y'all. And comment down below what you guys have thought about this death battle, or better yet, what are y'all looking forward to when it comes to the next death battle. I know I'm probably backed up, and I'm probably going to be backed up for quite a while, so I'm going to have to film and really get caught up here. So I'm going to be trying to work on getting these filmed and edited as quick as possible so that y'all can enjoy it and enjoy my reaction of it, and comment and share some interesting facts, because I generally love reading the comments and interacting with you all guys on these kind of reaction videos. I really appreciate that. So with that being stated, let's go ahead and get started into this. So we will begin in 3, 2, 1, begin.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp and HelloFresh.
Alright, I need to increase the volume on my speakers here. Alright, there we go.
Killua Zoldyck, Hunter x Hunter's prodigious lightning assassin.
Wow, I can't
Misaka Mikoto, Academy City's ace electric princess.
Question: what is more terrifying than the all-powerful crackling might of lightning?
Ah.
In the hands of cocky, hyper-talented teenagers. The worst combination. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
That was a no from One Piece. He's not a teenager.
Find out who would win a death battle.
That guy, I have no idea what he is. He could be a teenager. That'd be kind of crazy.
Zoldicks, a vicious family of assassins known the world over. So infamous for their killing techniques, a single photo of any member sells for millions.
You don't want to be the target of their next family outing. But like all families, there's bound to be a rebel.
As was the case with the middle child, Killua.
They seriously named him Kill? Hardcore.
Well, it might be a pun on the term kilowatt, but kill is apt, given he's been trained in past tensing people since he was 3.
I'll say, at age 14, he was strong enough to open a 64-ton door. Geez, what kind of workout did his
Age
family
14.
put him through? Somehow, it gave him 6 skater skills, extendable claws, and rhythm echo, a technique that lets him fool people's senses with just his feet.
More accurately, by manipulating the cadence of his footsteps, Killua can create an auditory illusion, capable of tricking even extrasensory abilities.
Killua was a heck of a prodigy, but despite being able to effortlessly rip out hearts, his family still thought he wasn't cold-blooded enough.
Fed up, he ran away. Not to the circus, but to the Hunter Association, an association of people who hunt stuff. There, he tested himself in the Hunter's exam, and inevitably had gone head over heels for his new friend, Gon. Get it?
Oh God, Wiz, are you still taking those waste-of-time improv classes?
Yes, and I think it's going pretty well.
Killua's family didn't like him making friends, so they sat him down and then calmly and politely tortured him mercilessly as punishment. It was only thanks to Gon that Killua finally convinced his old man to let him go out on adventures with his buddies.
But this change of heart was no act of compassion. Killua's father saw his freedom as just another step in molding him into a better killer. And in some ways, he was right. Through his adventures, Killua learned Nen, an invisible life force that...
Yeah, it's key. It's always key.
Actually, this one's a bit more complicated. You see, Nen is utilized through 4 main principles. Ten for containing your aura while defending from physical and mental attacks, Zetsu for relieving fatigue and masking your presence, Ren for bolstering strength and influencing emotions,
That's pretty standard so far.
and Hatsu, the unique way in which one's Nen is expressed. This comes in many forms, but all fall into one of 6 types, which represent how proficient a Nen user is at certain techniques.
So it's an RPG class system?
More like a hybrid class system, because most users actually fall somewhere between 2 categories, giving them differing degrees of proficiency. Techniques from these Nen categories can even be further enhanced by adding rules to their use. Oh, then there are the advanced principles, which...
Oh god, okay,
Wow.
I get it.
But we haven't even talked about
Yeah.
Killua's Hatsu yet. Killua is a transmuter enhancer, i.e. he specializes in transmuting his aura into different forms and enhancing the power of himself and others. He uses his aura to...
He makes lightning!
That breaks it down in a way that makes me feel, because I haven't watched the show and gotten that far into it yet. So
channel through his arms or send through metal objects.
Like his
That broke it
super
down for
alloy
me.
yo-yos. These bad boys weigh up to 50 kilograms. See, that's how you make a pun, Wiz.
Wow.
Packing enough force to shatter trees like I just shattered Wiz's confidence.
Add in Killua's lightning and he can electrify anyone who touches them.
And this isn't some magic-y smagic-y lightning. His bolts have been identified as the real deal more than once.
Meaning Killua is certainly as fast as actual lightning, especially when he uses it on himself to bust out Godspeed,
Yeah.
a form that greatly amplifies his agility and power, letting him bypass his synapses to reflexively react to threats.
For regular folk, that much voltage would be too much. But thanks to Killua's training, he can shrug off over 1,000,000 volts of electricity.
He's also exceptionally crafty. In a Nen fight, every move matters, and strategy almost always triumphs, even against greater strength.
Killua used these powers to battle world-renowned thieves, bomber mercenaries, and ants.
That may not sound like much, but these chimera ants were brutal, murdering and eating people by the hundreds of thousands, then threatening billions. That reminds me of an old experiment. Gone horribly wrong.
Killua understandably wanted to bail, but Gon pulled him back in, much to his frustration.
Killua wanted to be there for Gon emotionally, but could not comprehend why he was risking so much against the chimera ants, going as far as becoming a monster.
In other words, Killua was crushing really hard, but didn't know what to do about Gon's simple-minded impulsiveness. It didn't end well for anyone.
It wasn't all doom and gloom, though. Killua held his own against some of the chimera ants' best, surviving this forest-consuming blast from one of their captains.
Which, judging by its size, was worth several kilowatons.
And he later injured a top-ranking royal guard, Yuppie.
Sure, he ran for the hills the moment Godspeed wore off, and isn't as strong as the weird horseman, but even just damaging someone who can make a crater like this is nothing to sniff at.
But amidst all the fighting, Killua still could not get his family out of his mind. Literally.
As in, his brother, Illumi, put a needle in his head, forcing him to be controlled by self-preservation, ensuring he'd always run when victory isn't guaranteed. Wiz, you think you can call CPS for that?
Thankfully, after some much-needed self-surgery and self-reflection, Killua removed it, overcoming his mental barrier and ready to risk his life for those he cherishes.
Which he did when he finally got himself and his dear sister Alluka away from their demented family. He even brought Gon back from the brink of his creepy Nen coma.
But despite how valuable Gon was as a friend, Killua realized his unhealthy dependence on him.
So he decided to travel with and protect Alluka, finally realizing what he wants to do for the rest of his life. Oh god, the tearful romantic parting!
Still, if Gon or Alluka ever need help, Killua is sure to come running.
Ready to Killua anyone dumb enough to mess with him or those he cares about.
all right. Well, cool. Well, I'm actually glad to know that there's a happy ending to some degree at the end of that show. So I'm kind of surprised by his ability and stats and speed in regards to it. I always, when in the games like Jump Force and whatnot, and even J-Star's Victory Versus, he did have access to an ability called Godspeed, and I genuinely continue to use that move a lot of times because it does help me keep up with combos, and it really lets me keep on spamming them the same over and over again. And I honestly think it's really cool. His overall stats and abilities and whatnot don't really seem that very difficult. I mean, honestly, the lightning and whatnot is actually pretty impressive because to shrug off 1,000,000 volts of electricity is no easy task. But then again, we are dealing with pop culture characters in the show, and most of them can't shrug off abilities of blast that could be like 1.6 billion newtons of energy or something like that.
Academy City.
But now let's get started into this
filled
one.
with schools where espers train to master their supernatural abilities.
Oh.
Most of these youngins dream of rivaling the best espers, but only a few are hardworking and smart enough to do it.
Okay.
Among them being Tokiwadai Middle School's Level 5 Electro Master, Misaka Mikoto.
Level 5? So she's a Pokemon, but an anime girl.
Each esper's power
I guess so.
is ranked.
Maybe.
Level 5 being the highest they can normally achieve.
And after working up to that level, Misaka became unstoppable. She can magnetize herself to metal, electrically enhance her physique, sense her surroundings through an electromagnetic radar, and generate billions of volts.
In addition, she can make iron sand from disparate particles in the air to form tornadoes, body decoys, or a sword that vibrates at rapid speeds for enhanced cutting power.
Just what an anime girl needs, a chainsaw. Man, if she gets serious, Misaka can even make a friggin' 6 million ton kaiju out of it.
With such
Wow.
tremendous power, Misaka put an end to many crimes, earning fear among criminals, admiration among her peers, and lots of personal pride in her abilities. There was nothing she couldn't overcome.
Nothing except the bane of all tsunderes, a frizzy-haired, dumbass anime protagonist.
Enter Kamijo Toma, a level 0 nobody who Misaka could not harm, no matter how many times she tried.
Oh, I hate you, but I secretly love you, and it'll work out in the end. Shut up! But she'd have more than a dork like Toma to worry about. He's amazing as Academy.
But that's
City.
usually how it
It's
works.
more
I don't know
corrupt
why
than
it's
New
weird
York
in
real
this kind of
estate.
anime.
Years
This
ago,
works.
Misaka gave some shady scientists a sample of her DNA, being promised it'd help cure tons of fatal diseases.
Instead, they made tens of thousands of clones of her,
Dang.
sending them all to be slaughtered one by one.
Wow,
Presumably
that's
against
messed
another
up.
level 5 and
That's
A-tier
messed up.
edgelord named Accelerator. By farming all these clones, they hoped he would finally get enough EXP to become a mythic level 6. Is that seriously all it takes? How does this Esper stuff work?
Glad you asked. Espers represent the scientific side of the world, a side I'm so familiar with. All espers possess an involuntary movement or AIM diffusion field that manifests their power, letting them consciously alter reality.
Changing reality with your mind. Isn't that just magic?
Au contraire, Boomstick, it's quite scientific. Look at Misaka's signature move, the railgun. Many real-life railguns use a set of parallel conductors to generate Lorentz force. By envisioning imaginary rails between herself and her target, Misaka can create a similar yet greater effect, accelerating the speed and kinetic force of a projectile, usually a coin, into a concussive bullet. It's beautiful. It's science.
How long are you gonna be nerding out over this?
Come on, this is like my one thing. Where was I? Oh yeah, thousands of dead clones. Traumatized by the endless slaughter, Misaka felt enormous guilt. You see it all the time with horrific experiments.
Sure, buddy.
She worked for days to end the clone project, but concluded it would have to end with her sacrifice.
But Toma butted in, giving Misaka the support she needed in her darkest hour, while also punching out Albino Magneto with his Esper-proof fist.
Misaka had shouldered her burden for so long that she forgot how to rely on others. This wake-up call from her newfound crush was exactly what she needed.
But even with Accelerator decelerated, Misaka kept fighting Academy City's underbelly, all to protect her friends and free her sister clones she befriended. She dealt with a lot of trouble on the way, but had the power to do it.
In her battle with a killer cyborg lady, Misaka conjured a city-spanning storm, which, by measuring the size of the cloud relative to the city, would require over 58 kilotons of energy to make.
Kilowatts. She's also fought other level 5s, not just Accelerator. She got into a middle school beef with a snobby telepath, fought this explosive weirdo, and dodged particle beams from an unhinged Karen.
The electrons of which can accelerate to high relativistic speeds.
It's no shock. Misaka's reactions are that fast, given her lightning has been stated to be light speed on 5 different occasions.
More than just her powers, though, Misaka's greatest asset is her intellect.
It might not look it, but high-level espers constantly perform tons of nerd math just to make their powers work.
And understanding other powers has been just as vital to Misaka's survival. Take her bout with the magic Valkyrie, Brunhild.
Remember when Wiz said espers were the science side of the world? Well, these weirdos are packing the magic. A single mistake from Misaka could have meant death. but she's
So it's a
still
show about magic
Brunhild.
versus science,
Now,
basically.
Brunhild was still stronger and faster, but it is impressive Misaka was able to harm a saint, who are normally only deployed against foes capable of leveling mountains. One such foe, Hell, froze 100 kilometers of ocean.
You'd think this means Misaka can take on all sorts of magical baddies. But alas, the power creep says otherwise.
He's actually serious. When you're dealing with crazy magicians and magic gods, even a level 5 esper struggles to keep up. Misaka valued her abilities so highly that she struggled to maintain her self-esteem when they weren't enough.
A shame Misaka cares so much about getting stronger when Toma appreciates her as a person first and foremost.
While certainly a flaw, that ever-persistent hard-headedness will also keep Misaka around, no matter the stakes.
So watch out, because this pint-sized 14-year-old is quite literally a walking railgun.
Okay. Well, that's a little bit deadly there. I did notice how the the voltage that she is able to wield is actually quite deadly and dangerous. Probably a little bit more so than Killua. So now this becomes a battle of who can outlast whose lightning, and I guess who could hit harder and faster. I'd like to believe it's a game of stamina, but in some regards this isn't, because their stats are not very similar. They are able to increase their powers, but to a certain degree. And Killua can only do that to a certain amount. I mean, if he can only shrug off 1,000,000 volts or whatnot. But again, we always take these death battles with a grain of salt, because remember, supporting argument of a thesis of a claim, not the end result. Overall, I don't know. I'd like this battle to be in Killua's favor, but I'm kind of leaning more towards Misaka, because it's just, I don't know, her abilities kind of are different compared to overall
It's time for a
stats and whatnot, but I don't know. I think it just been. She doesn't seem like much of a fighter, though, compared to Killua. Killua is more of an assassin.
Hey, that's mine. I've been looking for it all day. Give it here.
Oh.
You want it? Come and get it.
Sounds like she will be. There's the railgun. Alright, there it is.
Coins, huh? I had a butler who used these.
Okay, okay. Did that lightning with the... There we go. We're not doing the electric slide?
It's a
Okay.
trick of sound, not sight. Gotcha.
Alright.
He's good at hand-to-hand. Better keep my distance.
She has stronger lightning. Gotta get in close.
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay. So who can hit harder and faster? That's what I thought. So, let's see. She can hit harder with the lightning, but he can hit harder with the fist. And if he's fast, he might be able to close the deal. Which it looks like with the yoga. Okay, alright. Not bad. Not bad. Okay.
No time to break.
Ooh, back to... Oh, dang. Well. Oh, dang. Well, he just...
Now's my chance.
Wow, did he literally just... She literally just triggered his... Okay. How do you say? Oh, wow, okay.
You don't know when to quit.
Flew in the middle there. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think the blade's gonna help you in this circumstance. It might, I don't know. Alright, let's see. Ooh, okay. Ooh, dang! Socked her right in the face. And then, of course, we got the giant electro kaiju. Okay.
Catch this.
Good to know. Dodge! Good job. You're better than Gohan. You've learned to dodge.
With electromagnetism, meaning it can be disrupted.
And we call it endgame. Wait, what? Oh no! No!
Distance, 35 meters. Altitude, 45, 40, now.
Dang! Wow! They got him! They got my boy! Damn! Damn! They got him! I thought we were gonna
The
get.
electromagnetism, the science,
This is a battle of science, is what it
Alright,
was.
take a breather there, champ.
Seriously, Boomstick,
While
please explain
Killua's
this.
assassin training
No.
made him a vicious threat, Misaka's abilities and know-how
Yes,
gave her
Wiz.
the counter she needed in this mind-numbing battle of wits.
Killua could survive kilowatt-ton level blasts, and given some leeway, could scale to Yuppie, whose crater feat was worth 18 megatons of TNT.
Impressive, but the storm Misaka created beat anything Killua has done directly. And given similar scaling to Brunhild, who Misaka not only harmed but stalemated, her output could reach hundreds of megatons of TNT. Meaning, no matter which numbers are used, Misaka would always have the advantage in raw electrical power.
No surprise there. Killua may have shrugged off 1,000,000 volts of electricity, but Misaka can dish out and survive billions.
Still, both characters have contended with and harmed stronger opponents, and the two power systems they work under have allowed weaker opponents to defeat stronger ones in the past.
So, might alone wouldn't net either a win. Plus, Killua was way better at hand-to-hand and physically stronger.
Knowing his crafty assassin skills, things could have gone south for Misaka if she wasn't careful.
But fortunately for the railgun, she was. Her fight with Brunhild shows she knows how to deal with tough, up-close threats while keeping her distance.
And being able to dodge particle beams meant Misaka was more than fast enough to react to even Killua's lightning-quick speed.
Add to that her bigger pool of powers, and she had plenty of ways to counter Rhythm Echo, since Killua's lightning, or just pin him in place long enough to pull off a railgun finisher.
Physically stronger,
Killua was
better
strong,
close
but he wasn't
range.
gonna outmuscle 6 million tons of iron sand.
Killua was a prodigy in all things Nen, lightning, and killing, but Misaka's varied electro powers, quick reflexes, and scientific brilliance let her cash in a win.
But hey, at least she let Killua keep the change. She Killua'd him.
The winner is Misaka
Really, bro?
Mikoto.
That was messed up. That was really bad. Let's see what next time. Coming summer. Oh. Rocket Raccoon and Lilo and Stitch. Yep. Stitch. Yep. Stitch versus Rocket. Disney versus Marvel. Okay. I'm a little bit tired to give my overall assessment on this. It's like 4 in the morning. I'm going to try and be very quick about this. So first off, let's talk about the animation. Animation-wise, again, went with the 2D pixel design. I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem. It's really cool that how they capture that, and I really appreciate it. Next, let's talk about the battle itself. It was really interesting. I did say it was going to be a matter of speed and strength. Who was going to be stronger, who's going to hit harder, who's going to hit faster. And it really is that, because both of these characters did have access to lightning. I really didn't understand Misaka's abilities as much as I wanted to, because quite frankly she's new to me. I don't know, and even now I'm still kind of trying to get together her origin story, including her abilities and capabilities as a combatant in this battle. And honestly, it does show that her output, the strength levels, are quite frankly more impressive than that of Killua's. Which, don't get me wrong, he did have the killer stats there. But again, if you can't get close enough to your opponent to deliver a decisive blow, it's very hard. You could be the greatest fighter in the world and be able to kick ass, but if they have a gun or something to keep you distance, you ain't going to be able to do nothing. Which is why you're probably going to be kind of surprised by the third assessment of this death battle, which is the outcome. I personally think that when it comes to death battle, everything is an argument to a certain degree. It's a supporting argument or a supporting claim in an argument. This conclusion is probably more accurate because more times than not, it is probably going to be like that, because out of all the number of times that Killua could probably get close enough, she would have some sort of ability to try and isolate herself a distance. It's not a definitive conclusion, but it is probably accurate depending on the number of times that you ran the situation or the simulation, however you wanted to put it. As much as it is, I do have to get the battle to her. I'm probably going to get a lot of heat from Hunter x Hunter fans, so just be sparing.
We do not care.
Anyway, guys, that was my reaction to Killua versus Misaka. A certain magical index versus Hunter x Hunter. If you did like this, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And remember, if you're new to the channel, subscribe for more. And guys, oh my goodness, my brain is tired. Alright, I'm going to go and catch some sleep. So thank you all for tuning in and watching this reaction. And I'll see everybody in the next piece of content of Time Guide to BZ. Have a God bless day and peace.